My name is Tosin Omolaja, and you're welcome to NAFDAC and Your Health, where we bring you all the important information you need to know about NAFDAC, the agency saddled with the responsibility of safeguarding our health by ensuring that the foods, drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment made available to us are safe and wholesome. Nigeria received its first set of COVID-19 vaccines, the AstraZeneca Covishield vaccine, in March 2021. This made it possible for millions of Nigerians to get immunized and therefore set the country on the path to stamping out the dreaded coronavirus. For almost a year before its arrival, NAFDAC had been working round the clock in preparation for the vaccines, with staff and officers of the agency being thoroughly trained in different capacities to ensure that any vaccine made available to Nigerians is safe and efficacious.
NAFDAC has been working since April last year, getting ready for the vaccines. And our staff in R&R, Registration and Regulatory Affairs, DER, Drug Evaluation and Research, Pharmacovigilance, Post-Marketing Surveillance, Laboratories, all these 4 directorates have been meeting almost every week in preparation. And that led to the guidance that is on our website, www.nafdac.gov.ng. You will see a vaccine image. You click it, you will see the guidance that we've been working on. NAFDAC is the first African country to write the guidance. It is not just that we are working at the country level. NAFDAC is one of the 4 countries, or one of the regulatory agencies in Africa that is on the African Union Smart Safety Surveillance Steering Group. And the African Union Smart Safety Surveillance is all about monitoring of commodities, of drugs, medical products, things like that. We have pharmacovigilance being represented there, our pharmacovigilance, and somebody from primary health. So we are working collaboratively at the country level and also at the continental level. MHRA, which is the FDA equivalent in UK, is working with us on this. Bill Melinda Gates Foundation is working with us at the continental level. The COVAX facility has arranged that 20% of each country's population, that 92 countries on the list, that 20% of their population will be given free vaccines, which means about 40 million people in Nigeria will receive, or Nigeria will receive 40 million doses of the vaccines.
Beyond the extensive work done in its vaccine labs studying these vaccines, the agency also put in place technological infrastructures that will guarantee that no fake vaccines infiltrate the supply chain using the traceability technology.
What track and trace will do is a technology-driven supply chain monitoring. What track and trace will do is that it will identify if there is infiltration in the supply chain, if there are fake medicines that have been mixed, fake vaccines that have been mixed with the genuine one. So we are using track and trace, and Nigeria is the 2nd African country that will be using track and trace. We are working together with Ethiopia, because the regulatory agencies of the 2 countries have been trained to a great extent in that technology. It's a GS1 technology. That is what we're going to be using. And our own staff here, the technical working leader, is also working with the technical working person from Ethiopia. So this way we know where the vaccines are. And it's not just where, because there's going to be a global positioning monitoring. So you get you get an address of a particular healthcare center. You figure out where the global positioning is, so that when we scan at the ports of entry at the airport, when we scan it, we already have the master data or the original data from the manufacturer. And if it is in Calabar, after distribution or at the distribution point in Calabar, it will tell us that yes, and it is this batch that entered the country that is now in Calabar, and 100 patients or subjects will be receiving them. We will also note through the track and trace the number of people that will be getting it, because bear in mind, it is from manufacturer to the patient.
Since March 2021, when the AstraZeneca COVID-Shield vaccine was rolled out, the agency has continued to work tirelessly on its regulatory function of reviewing other vaccines, regardless of whether they had already got emergency use authorization from other, more advanced countries of the world. The agency has followed its vaccine approvals up in April 2021 with the approval of Pfizer-BioNTech in May 2021, granting conditional emergency use authorization for Janssen, that's the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine, to prevent COVID-19 in people from 18 years of age, and in July 2021 gave approval to the Moderna vaccine and the AstraZeneca AZD1222, and also a conditional approval for the Sputnik V. In the country, several committees have been set up to ensure that every Nigerian is vaccinated with the most effective and safe vaccine in our fight to eradicate the novel coronavirus from our borders. A very key aspect of this entire process is the agency's active pharmacovigilance regime.
As an agency, as a regulatory body, we followed all the trends, all the developments, what WHO was doing, and how WHO got into the stage of emergency use, listing. Then, because we are following all these developments, for our people, we now felt, yes, it was now time for us. We constituted actually a vaccine committee within the agency, which was following up all these developments to come up with something that is workable for this country. So when the emergency use listing was done, the dossiers were made available. The committee went through the dossier. This committee is made of different directorates with different fields and areas of specialization. And for pharmacovigilance, the safety aspect of it is key to us. Safety of it is very key to us. So the safety aspect of it was the part that we keep reviewing. So, and eventually we got to the point of approval, granting emergency use authorization by the agency. Then the vaccine. So, and all this while too, we also had a multi-agency group, technical working group, in which we are, well represented. So that technical working group was working on, by the time that the vaccine is available, what are we going to do? What are the steps that we're going to take? So steps where, we came up with preparedness, for the administration of the vaccine. And of course, it was agreed that the MedSafety app was going to be used, being an electronic, system app, using Android phones and ISO phones. We can use that to report, as against the paper base, because the paper was the traditional way we're using, but most times the reports never get to the center. So we had to use the app for it to get to the center and promptly. But in addition, NAFDAC felt that we needed to release NAFDAC officers out to monitor the reporting of this. So all the officers nationwide, the NAFDAC, the pharmacovigilance focal persons were released in all the states, and we followed adequately. Many times, some of the centers, the people are unable to probably report using the MedSafety app. This time around, we put them through, and that now encouraged them to put the subsequent ones into the app. And that was what gave us the success story.
NAFDAC has recorded tremendous success in its active pharmacovigilance drive using technology and by being proactive. After the break, we'll discuss the fear of side effects and adverse drug reactions and what NAFDAC has put in place to mitigate this and as well as guarantee your safety. NAFDAC and your health. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
The MedSafety app is the latest reporting tool introduced by the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control in November 2020 as part of the Innovative Medicines Initiative project. The app is made available to the public in collaboration with World Health Organization, Uppsala Monitoring Center, Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, UK, and National Agency for Food, Drugs and Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The MedSafety app allows users to track safety information of medicines, vaccines and other health products, report adverse drug reaction to a medicine or vaccine, and view data on suspected side effects. When you have received your COVID-19 vaccine, you can use the MedSafety app to report any adverse reaction or side effect you may feel. The app can be used by anybody, irrespective of whether you are a medical practitioner or not. You, your family and friends, everyone can download and use the MedSafety app to report adverse drug reaction. Just search for MedSafety on Google Play Store for Android and App Store for iOS. When using the app for the first time, the user needs to select his or her region, in this case, Nigeria, and also choose the preferred language of choice. The user will then be taken to the login page where you create an account by providing your email and password or proceed as a guest. To create an account, you are required to provide the following details: reporter type, example, physician or pharmacist, as well as their name and email address, password with at least 9 characters with 1 uppercase letter and a number. Read the privacy statement and accept. Once you are logged in, the user is presented with a number of tabs, which includes news, products and watch lists. Under the Report tab, the user can report a new suspected adverse drug reaction, ADR. On opening a new report, the user is prompted to input patient details, which include initials, sex, and date of birth. The user is then required to input details of the suspected medicine. These include suspected medicine name, other drug details such as strength, batch, dosage details. Multiple suspect drugs and concomitant drugs can be added at any time. The report can be saved and completed at a later time. A saved report can be found on Pending Reports and can be continued by clicking on the report and continuing from where the user stopped. Enter reaction details, reaction date and outcomes. Multiple suspects' reaction can also be added. Also, further details about the report can also be included, such as did the reaction cause prolonged hospitalization, disability, congenital anomaly, or birth defect, life-threatening results in deaths, and so on. Finally, you can also add details of any relevant medical history before submitting the report. The user receives a message on the app confirming submission and an acknowledgement in the mail for submission. Reports can be created and saved without internet connection and be sent whenever internet connection is available. The product tabs show all medicines in the NAFDAC list database. It's easier to navigate to a drug or vaccine of interest, and this data is obtained from the WHO Uppsala Monitoring Center. User can also add products of interest to their watch list to get the latest information on the drugs. All products added to the watch list can be viewed in the watch list tab. The News tab displays drug safety information by NAFDAC. This is usually up to date with drug safety information. Registered users can also edit their profile or change app settings. For more information on the app, please contact the National Pharmacovigilance Center (NPC) at NAFDAC headquarters, plot 2032, Olusegun Obasanjo Way, Wuse Zone 7, Abuja, or call 09290511110 or send email to medsafetyapp@nafdac.gov.ng or pharmacovigilance@nafdac.gov.ng.
You're welcome back. If you are just joining us, you're watching NAFDAC and Your Health. One key fear for many people around the world, for which Nigerians are not left out, is the fear of adverse drug reaction following vaccination.
I've taken it. I've had the first dose. So I'm waiting for the second dose. I think it's about 2 weeks or so now when I took it. So far, as a matter of fact, I tried the magnet thing that I saw flying around, that if you put a magnet there, the magnet will stick, which means that something metallic has been injected into. I tried the magnet thing, nothing happened. So unless there's a different kind of, a particular one that has that magnet, but the one I took, I didn't experience anything. And then at first, you wouldn't even notice that you've taken anything. There's no pain, but later you feel a little ache or something around there.
Since I've taken it, I've not experienced anything negative. And actually, probably, I didn't expect anything negative. Maybe that's why. And most of those that I'm familiar with who are taking the vaccine, none of them has even reported anything negative.
I've taken only the first dose of it to secure myself. The first dose, naturally, I felt some pains. The following day on my right side, then later on my left side. Well, of course, it created some little weakness here and there the following day. That was all.
Temitope Afolayan is a medical officer at the National Hospital, Abuja, and one of the first set of people to receive the AstraZeneca COVID-Shield vaccine.
Most people, what's carrying them away is what will happen to me after the vaccination. But right now, I've not really had anybody that have a serious reaction. But I would just advise the public that in case you have reaction and you don't know what to do, you can walk into any of our hospitals around to lay your complaint. Tell them there's this yellow card. Maybe when you get to the information desk, you ask for it, where you can lay your complaints. Or you can get the MedSafe from Google app store. You can download it from there, where you can put in your complaints. And I believe with that, it will be taken to the right channels, will get it and may treat it.
When you introduce something foreign to the body should react. The body naturally should acknowledge that something from outside has come in. So when you are at the point of injection site, certainly you will know that something has come into the body. And that which has come into the body, that which has touched the body, that site of injection, you are likely going to have experienced some minor pains, and sometimes some irritations, and sometimes, depending on who you are, you could have some slight headaches, you could have some weaknesses, but you discover that within a short time, many people recovered.
With all the groundwork the agency has done to ascertain the safety of all these vaccines, NAFDAC is still not resting on its oars in terms of its pharmacovigilance drive to ensure that any adverse reactions are duly reported and escalated.
As it will happen, the Med Safety app that we just launched about 2 months or 2.5 months ago was developed by MHRA. And the MHRA now working with us at the continental level makes it easier for NAFDAC to use that technology to monitor side effects, adverse drug reactions that may be observed. after the immunization. And it's a neat, simple app that anybody can download. And our own pharmacovigilance is already training different health sectors to download and to know how to use it. So that if somebody, the vaccine is in Calabar or Ibadan or wherever, the healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, and others will have known how to use it. So that if somebody is given the vaccine, of course there will be a WhatsApp communication or text messaging. Okay, your arm is a little tender today, or you have fever. You can easily text the healthcare worker, and then they will enter it. And if it is an educated consumer or educated person that received the immunization, that person can actually use it and record what he or she is experiencing. So the MedSafety app is very neat, and the goal of the AU level involvement is to ensure that we have an African vigilance database. Because you may observe some clinical outcomes in Caucasian population. You may not observe the same in an African population. Many times they are similar, but sometimes they are not. So this will give us an opportunity to look inward. Okay, the way people are reacting to it in South Africa is different from the way people are reacting to it in West Africa or in Central Africa or whatever. So we can actually find out whether there are ethnic differences. Aside from that, we can compare our own data with Europe. We can compare it with the US. So it's very neat initiative once we start the process.
And that's our package for today. Please join us same time, same station next week for a fresh edition. In the meantime, if you have comments, complaints, or you want to report activities of fake drugs or adulterated food product peddlers, our doors are always open. You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email, reforms@nafdac.gov.ng, or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded. COVID-19 is real. Please ensure you and your family follow safety measures as outlined by the NCDC. Stay away from crowded places as much as possible, and if you must be out there, please wear a face mask. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water, and ensure you use only NAFDAC-approved alcohol-based hand sanitizers. Taking the NAFDAC-approved COVID-19 vaccine is safe. It's our best bet of stamping out the deadly coronavirus. And don't forget to download the MedSafety app from iOS or Play Store to report any adverse reaction from the vaccine or any other medicine at all. NAFDAC prioritizes customer satisfaction, which is why our motto says we are customer-focused, agency-minded. Kindly visit our website to fill a short customer satisfaction survey to help us serve you better. See you next week. Stay safe.